Zack and TJ Brunson.
Zack, just how difficult was it to try to get a consistent running crease against that defensive front?
I mean, they're a good front. You know, we just didn't have things go our way. We just got to keep pushing them up front. I mean, I think at times we should have kept running it, but at times, you know, obviously our throwing game seemed to be working as well at times. So I mean, that's for coaches to their decision, not really mine. But overall, you know, I think we just need to get more push up front. It's from the offensive line, and it starts with us.
TJ, how would you describe the breakdowns in the second half on defense at the start of the third quarter?
I think guys just we just didn't align fast enough. We weren't urgent. I mean, that's all it boiled down to: urgency, being vocal, getting the calls to everyone.
Let's go to Josh in the middle.
TJ, how much of that urgency had to do with the grind of the size of their offensive line? Do you feel like that took a toll physically as the game wore on?
I did not. I feel like everything that happened on our side of the ball was a lot. It had a lot to do with us. Just understanding, like, it was a dogfight. I mean, those guys, they were good, but we're just as good. You know, getting those guys to understand, you know.
Getting which guy? Getting Georgia?
Getting on our side of the ball, just getting those guys to understand, you know, it's a four-quarter game.
TJ, when you're in that mode and that moment, and it seems like everything's crashing, they're scoring those 3 straight drives. What's that mood like? What is it feeling when you're looking around, you're looking for answers, and maybe they're just not there?
You just try to keep everyone up and make sure everyone understands. Like I said before, it's a four-quarter game, and you know, just go out the next drive with the mentality to dominate and to win. And obviously, we didn't do that today, so we have to be on the same accord all across the boards.
TJ, to follow up on that, you felt like some of your teammates felt beaten in the second half, maybe, or just didn't feel like you could get the job done?
I think so. I think during the second half, a lot of guys just didn't understand the grind of the game. It's hard to win, especially playing up against those guys. Like, it's always going to be a dogfight, but you know, it's the second game of the season. We got a long way to go.
Is there a lesson that you can pull out of that for them, you think? And did you try to teach it in the second half on the sideline, maybe? I mean, were you saying anything? Or?
I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I just want those guys to understand, you know, it's a long game. It's always a long game. You know, we fought the first half. We made it to where it was manageable. And then you just, you know, you got to keep that same energy throughout the whole game.
Zack, you talked a little bit about the run game. Just how hard is it to establish the running game against a defensive front like that, and what does it take away from an offense when you aren't able to, I guess, consistently run the ball effectively?
You just got to be more downhill. You know, I think we did a lot of outside stuff, but I think we need to run a little bit more inside and just move people off the ball. That's the biggest thing. You know, offensive line, we take full responsibility for the run game. You know, it's our job. So when you look at the stats, it's disappointing. You're going out there and practicing every single day, giving it our all, and we're not seeing the results. So we'll watch the film tomorrow and try and make some corrections, figure out, you know, what we did wrong, and get back after it and go through another week of practice and get ready for Marshall.
Either one of you guys, how do you guys flush it and get into practice and not let this linger too much as you try to get into the next week?
You watch the film and you learn from it. You learn to see what you did wrong, mistakes you made, what you can do to get better, and take those into practice and focus on them and be dominant at your own position.
I guess this is kind of for both of you, but how much of a challenge is it when they kind of go up 14-0 so fast like that? Does that kind of take out the energy a little bit? What is that sort of like to suddenly turn to battling back from something like that so quickly?
I mean, we've been down before. Look at last year. We were down before and we came back and won. Doesn't matter if we're down or up. You know, we were the whole entire game. We were trying to battle to get back up. It didn't matter if we were losing or not. Our mindset was to get on the field and go score a touchdown. We got to get the defense off the field. You know, we can't go 4 and out, three drives in a row. I mean, that's not fair to them. You know, not an excuse to them, but something as an offensive line or as an offense, we need to, you know, stay on the field and drive the ball on the field and score, regardless.
Back there, Mike.
TJ, just obviously the tackling wasn't there today, but is there kind of like signs of promising knowing that you can fix these kind of things? It's not like it was mental breakdowns or anything like that.
We're going to do so many tackling drills this week. I can guarantee you that. But, you know, those are things that can be fixed through practice. And it's just, I mean, it just comes down to your technique and just belief and confidence when you're going in for a tackle. So those things will be fixed. You know, it just come out to practice next week, learn from what happened today, watch the film, and move on.
Did you feel assignment-wise you guys were pretty good, though?
Yeah, I think across the board we were okay. We still need to work on being more vocal as a unit and relaying the calls and making sure everyone is on the same page throughout the whole game.
Last one for these guys in front.
TJ, you're talking about tackling. Is that going back to the focus you were talking about, guys losing focus in the second half, or is it just execution throughout the game? Or?
Just execution. It doesn't change from the first play to the last play. It comes down to just focusing on executing.